Once upon a time in a faraway kingdom, there was a king with 7 beautiful daughters. They were all pretty, but the youngest one was the prettiest of them all. She had one favorite toy among all. It was Golden Ball. She would spend hours throwing it up into the air and catching it. Close to the king's castle, there was a big dense forest. Under a big tree on the edge of the forest, there was a deep, mysterious pool. On a hot day, it felt nice to sit in the cool shade of the tree near the pool. The princess often went there to play by herself. One day, when the princess threw up her golden ball, it slipped out of her hands, landing on the grass. However, it didn't stop there. The ball bounced into a deep pool nearby, creating a loud splash as it hit the water. The princess couldn't bear the thought of losing her beautiful golden ball. She started to cry. While the princess was crying, she heard a voice asking,
"Why are you crying, young princess? What's the matter?"
But she could not see anyone nearby. There was only a frog sitting at the edge of the pool.
"Please stop crying. I can help you get your ball. But what will you give me if I find it for you?"
If you find my golden ball, I will give you anything you wish for. You can have my clothes or my jewels or even my golden crown.
I don't want your clothes, your jewels, or your crown. What I really want is for you to be my friend and care for me. I'd like to sit next to you at meals, share your food from the same golden plate, and I wish to sleep next to you in your bed. If you agree to these things, I will go down into the deep pool and get your golden ball back. Will you promise?
The princess thought the frog was being silly with his requests, but she really wanted her golden ball back, so she said,
Yes, I promise everything you want, just please find my golden ball for me.
Hearing her promise, the frog quickly dived into the pool. He went deep underwater and soon came back up, swimming to the surface with the golden ball in his mouth. The frog tossed the ball onto the grass. Seeing her favorite toy again made the princess really happy. Then, forgetting about the frog in the pool, she ran through the forest back to her father's castle. "Wait for me! Wait for me!" croaked the poor frog. "I can't run as fast as you." He hopped as fast as he could, trying to catch up with the princess. The next day, the young princess was having dinner with the king and her sisters. Meanwhile, the frog managed to find his way into the big hall of the castle. He hopped up the marble staircase, one step at a time. When he reached the top, the frog knocked on the dining room door. "Youngest princess, open the door for me," he called out. The princess ran to the door to see who was calling her, but when she saw it was the frog, she got scared. She quickly shut the door and hurried back to her seat at the dining table.
"My child, what has frightened you? Is there a giant outside the door who wants to take you away?"
Oh no, Daddy. It's not a giant, it's just a gross, slippery frog.
"What does the frog want from you?"
Then the princess explained to her father about what had happened in the forest the day before. "I promised him he could live with me," she said, "but I never thought he would really come all the way from the water."
"Princess, please keep your promise and let me live with you."
"My child, whenever you make a promise, you should keep it. Now go and open the door."
The youngest princess opened the door, and as she returned to her chair, the frog hopped after her. Once she sat down, the frog asked,
"Princess, please slide your little golden plate closer to me so we can eat together from the same plate."
The princess did so, but she really didn't want to. She hardly ate anything, and it seemed like every bite was hard for her to swallow. But the frog, he happily enjoyed every bite he took.
"Princess, thank you for the delicious food. Now, I'm tired. Please take me to your room, and we'll lie down on your little silk bed and go to sleep."
Hearing this, the princess started to cry. She didn't want the cold frog in her bed, but her father, the king, said firmly, "When someone helps you, you should be kind to them in return. Take the frog to your room." She picked up the frog and took him to her room. She put the frog far from her bed. Then she got into her silky bed and faced away from him.
"Princess, I'm tired too. I want to sleep next to you on your silky sheets. Please pick me up."
Knowing that her father would insist to keep her promise, the princess, with tears still on her cheeks, picked up the frog. She got back into bed and placed him on the silk pillow next to her. As soon as she did this, the frog transformed into a handsome prince with a kind smile and gentle face, which surprised the princess.
Princess, listen, a mean witch turned me into a frog. The spell breaks only if a kind princess agrees to be friends with me, share her days, meals, and bed. Princess, watching you play with your golden ball in the forest made me fall in love with you. Will you marry me?
The princess looked into his kind face and agreed. Together, holding hands, they went to tell the king about what had happened. The next day, they rode in a beautiful carriage to the prince's home. When they got there, everyone was so happy to see the prince again after such a long time. Sometime later, the prince and the princess were married and they lived happily ever after.